We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. The proposed sovereign wealth fund of the Marcos administration has received huge interest at the 2023 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. In an interview, Senator Mark Villar said majority of the attendees at the forum are interested in the Philippines and in the proposed sovereign wealth fund. Villar said the wealth fund would generate income and improve the country's fiscal health.
Galing po ako sa dialogue kahapon at masasabi ko na marami pong nagiging interested, marami pong interesado sa Pilipinas at syempre po sa wealth fund. Dahil ito ay isang pondo na nakikita nila na magagamit natin para lalong bumilis ang development ng ating bansa. And of course, as investors, gusto rin nila makita na active tayo sa infrastructure at sa mga products or funds that can help the government.
Likewise, Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno pointed out that the proposed MIF would help fund the Philippines' infrastructure projects.
Ang tinatawag namin na sovereign wealth fund, napaka-ordinary niyan for other countries. No? Diyan nila pinukuha yung kanilang long-term investment. Usually, pinagagalingan niyan yung mga, say, kung meron kang sobras, yung, for example, some countries, meron silang oil reserves, no, na binibenta nila, but yung mga ganong klase is exhaustible yun eh. So dapat siguro sinusubi mo yun for future generations.
Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista, meanwhile, said more chief executive officers of big companies from Asia and Europe were impressed by the country's growth rate. He said he was able to talk to former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Tony Blair, who expressed support to the government's railway projects.
Ang pag-attend ni PBBM dito sa Davos World Economic Forum ay napakahalaga because makakausap niya ang mga leaders ng industries, no? Napaka-importante na pag-usapan yung mga proyekto natin sa infrastruktura, no? Mag-invite tayo ng mga investors, no? And isa nga ito sa mga napag-usapan namin kagabi doon sa isang dinner, no? Na nandoon yung CEO ng mga big companies, not only in Asia but in Europe. Impressed sila, no? Especially yung kagabi makausap namin when we told them that our economy is growing at the rate of 6.5 to 7%. No? Me personally, I was able to share with Mr. Tony Blair, no, the projects of the Department of Transportation, no? And he was very interested in supporting especially the railway projects of the government, no? And sabi nga nila, it's a very good performance, no? And they hope that we will continue that good performance of the country.
Former United Kingdom Prime Minister Tony Blair lauds President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for attending the World Economic Forum and for articulating clearly his plans for the Philippines. Blair said it is the best time for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to be at the forum so he could showcase what is happening in the Philippines while building its stature. During their meeting in Davos, Switzerland, Blair said the Philippines was not in a good standing last year, but having somebody who presents the current status of the country and its direction sends a good signal to other nations. In response, Marcos said he thinks consistency is important as investors need to know the conditions on the ground so they can draw up their plans. The former UK Prime Minister met the President in October last year when he paid a courtesy visit in Malacanang and again in September on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Blair currently heads the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, a non-profit organization that seeks to support political leaders and governments to build open, inclusive, and prosperous societies in a globalized world. The Philippine Navy will host the second ASEAN Multilateral Naval Exercise, or AMNEX, that aims to promote interoperability among naval forces in the region. The second annex is scheduled in the third or fourth quarter of this year. Navy spokesperson Commander Benjo Negranza said ASEAN member countries drafted a basic training plan in a conference at the Heritage Hotel in Pasay City on Tuesday. Negranza said the Navy will show its resolve to forge closer ties, deepen understanding, and foster cooperation towards a peaceful and stable ASEAN region. The AMNEX, first held in 2017 in Thailand, is anchored on enhancing interoperability, responsiveness, and readiness to address common regional maritime concerns. Aside from the second AMNEX edition, the Philippine Navy is also tasked to host the 17th ASEAN Navy Chiefs meeting scheduled in April. In other news, over 4,700 indigent beneficiaries have received 35 million pesos in medical assistance through earnings from lottery games in a span of 5 days. The Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office announced it has released medical aid through its Medical Access Program, or MAP, from January 9 to 13 this year. Beneficiaries from the National Capital Region received 7.8 million pesos worth of assistance, while those from Northern and Central Luzon were given 7.5 million pesos. Indigents from Southern Tagalog and Bicol region received 7.4 million pesos. 6.1 million pesos was given to Visayas, while individuals in Mindanao received 6.3 million. The MAP is designed to provide medical assistance for indigent Filipinos, particularly those in need of hospital confinement, chemotherapy, dialysis, and post-transplant medicine. And that is the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Presidential Communications Office and on Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I am William Theo. We tell stories that inspire change. Good day, everyone.